a Soviet Jeep with an axial Jeep engine and drivetrain. Some of the work has already been done, obviously. The engine is in and the axles are in, but there might be some tweaking on those as well. But I need to make steering and brakes and all that kind of stuff, so quite an interesting little project. It will also have Jeep's steering wheel and all this unit. So I'm gonna start figuring this stuff out. And we also have the donor car. And yeah, as I already said, I'm starting to work on the steering. So I'm gonna remove that brake booster and brake pedal. Those are here just temporarily. So we are gonna address all this, but okay, I'm gonna remove it now. I marked the center of the steering wheel roughly on this edge here, and I could pick up this point with my laser and I can transfer it straight down there. Now I'm gonna do some figuring out stuff, and I'm gonna figure out the steering wheel part, the inner part as well, to see where I could make that hole there. So I've now made a template following the shape of this, and next I'm gonna cut out this section from there. This one is not marked by me. I think I'm gonna put some tape over that and do my marking on the tape, and then I can have a more exact hole in there. Got this marked. Now I will cut it and fine-tune it as needed. I'm gonna use my engine hoist to lift, or actually hold, one end of the steering in place, because that was actually the easiest way for me to figure this out, and I can very easily change the height and position of it. And right now as it sits, it is actually perfect that way. So now trying to be very careful. I'm gonna try to put the seat back in here and see how this position feels. So I've done a bunch of work. Got this roughly, not roughly, got this exactly where it will live in. The steering is in very temporarily. All those attachment points are just temporary, just to get all my pedals and stuff lined up here. This is all very temporary. Now I will. Now we know that everything is where it will be in the end. We are happy with the position of those. Now I can remove all this stuff from here and start building. First I'm gonna start building this part of the firewall. And yeah, I believe I'm gonna leave the steering mounts and stuff for later, because then I might have some more structure to connect all this to. So working on the steering column surround. So I've built it up this hole where the steering comes through, and this seal will live in this hole here. This is in its proper place. There is some welding and finishing work to do here, and the gas pedal will live here. That's determined. The hole for the throttle cable. Got some welding done here, but now I figure before I start doing the steering mounts and stuff like that, I'm gonna cut the floor piece of the total car there and start figuring how this will go here. So now I'm gonna go and start figuring how I'm gonna get this into the car. Not gonna film that process because it's a lot of thinking and measuring, but we will see. Next I'm gonna connect this piece temporarily to the existing floor. Got this spot fixed here. It's not super strong, but now I can start filling the gaps. Got the first piece fabricated, and now I'm gonna tack this in. I will push this along as needed while I'm tacking it, so it will be all nice and tight. So I'm gonna continue tacking this in a little more, and we will go from there. I'm in the process of making the filler piece for that side using this paper. Now I can cut it out of paper and transfer it to sheet metal and cut it out and start bending it. Got that one tacked in as well. Oh, the primer has now dried. I'm gonna get it screwed in, and then I can tack the piece in and start building those areas up here. So got this tacked in, got that welded in here. After I grind, this will not even be visible basically, but that's gonna happen later. Now I'm gonna start working on connecting this to that. I'm gonna do some more trimming here, and yeah, we will go from there. Got all these pieces stacked in here, but now I'm auto welding this last piece in here. Still need to fabricate and make a piece for the top part here. That will be interesting to weld in and also fabricate due to the lack of space. But we will cross that bridge when we get there. So that corner is also starting to get some strength into it. Yeah, when we get the top part in as well, then this area should tie in pretty nicely. Welding in this corner here, not too good for the back actually. But yeah, we do what we gotta do. And subscribe if you like this kind of stuff. And leave a thumbs up. that would be greatly appreciated. V8 wash. American V8. So I don't know how well it shows on camera, but you can really clearly see all the lines. Don't mind the paper being very dirty. Now I'm gonna cut it out. So this is the shape that we need. And I have also marked on my template where I need to bend. So now I can transfer those marks here, and I can start bending it. So now I'm gonna make mounting points for this brake pedal bracket. It's bolted in there into the firewall, but there needs to be something up top here as well. So I made this plate, and this will tie in to that firewall quite close to the corner up there, so that should do the trick. Got it bolted in here, and now I can weld this bracket to the firewall, and we will go from there. Got this welded in there, and now I'm gonna remove this to make way for fabricating the brackets for the steering column. So got this steering column upper support piece welded together. Now I'm gonna bolt it to the column, and then I can weld it to the body of the car. And now I can weld it into the body here, from here and here, and we will go from there. So got this piece fabricated, and also went through primer inside, and the part which will be hidden later. So now I'm gonna wait for the primer to dry up, and then I can weld this in place. Coming to you from the future, actually. Discover that I have lost quite a bit of footage. So this is the driver's front seat mount, and also the floor strengthening piece here, also fabricated and welded in those rear seat mounts. This is actually the seat wiring here, and the steering mount all welded in. You can't see much, but yeah, so this is all done. The top piece is in here, and the rear piece all tied in. I also did the seat mounts for the other side, and yeah, next work on this will be fabricating this inner fender. First thing I'm gonna do it to the same extent as I have done the driver's side on our case, and we will go from there, because there will need to live a lot of stuff. Engine management systems and fuses, I think, were some located in this area, and also the accumulator or battery or whatever you call this. So I've made a bracket for that one. It's obviously not finished yet. I'll fitted this one. Made a recess here for the battery to go a little bit lower to make clearance for the hood. So yeah, working on that now. I just got those radiator mounts fabricated. Those go here like so. The radiator itself mounts here through its original location, and I've made mounting points for my bracket. Down there are two bolts, and one I used this ledge mounting bolt as well. So, and the other side one is exactly the same. So now I'm gonna mount those, and we will tackle with next project. But I'm gonna make it look a little nicer now. Next I'm gonna get this kind of finalized, and yeah. Next I'm gonna fully weld all this stuff that I have fabricated here. Plus weld in some grounding points. I'm gonna weld just those bolts from the other side. So got this all fully welded now. Also all the tabs. Gonna do some grinding to that piece here, but other than that I believe not too much. I will grind that one slightly because I'm gonna fabricate the battery holding tray. But yeah, other than that, this corner is looking quite okay now. So, got this piece all fabricated, and I just used self-tappers to screw it in. For now, later on I will make this a bolt-on piece. And all those caps I will make slightly bigger to allow for some movement. Before that, on this side, those are slightly different because the other side has had this bow in it. But other than that, yeah, very happy with how those came out. This is the battery area here. Got the battery tray all done as well. Installed this weird switch or whatever it was, and I realized I hadn't taken any footage of fabricating this inner fender here. This bulge here is to accommodate this steering box. Those caps I will cut a little bigger once we dismantle everything, and then I can cut those. And on this side I made mounts for all these brackets, ABS unit. Used but modified all those brackets. Yeah, looking sweet. So, working on the rear seats. I got this off the Jeep's body. Here are the front mounts for the seat bottom parts. This one back there is basically a template to allow me to place the mounting points for the seat rests, but we will get to that later. Now I'm gonna need to cut off some of this here to make space for the Jeep's seats. So what I got done is got those pieces stacked in here on both sides. Now the seat can go in its slot basically. And next I'm gonna work on attaching this to the floor to make it rigid again. Got all those pieces tucked in. Haven't welded this to the floor yet. I will do that later. Now I'm working on the piece for the back there. This one will be. I will cut it to size. I already drilled out the culvert holes. I will drill this and then I can put that in place and mark where I need to cut the edges of this one to fit that perfectly in there, and then I can spot weld that one in as well, and we will go from there. So I got this piece stacked in as well. The bottom lip I haven't welded yet because you never know. Maybe I need to move something or whatever. But yeah, next I can start building the beam here where the backrests will mount to. I already cut out this out of a 60 millimeter by 60 millimeter square tube, and onto that I will fabricate my mounts. But yeah, I will keep you updated when I get to some point. Got those seats all mounted. There is still some final welding to do on those seat belt mounting brackets. This one and this one. Also got this little thing welded in here. Gotta fully weld everything. Still made those support pieces here for where those seat bottom rest. Later gonna glue something like that in here when there is some paint on it. Here also the smaller one is for supporting that part, and that one supports it from here. We got also that one going on, and those are the seat belt mounting brackets I was talking about. And yeah, basically I'm gonna now take all the seats off, then I can finally finish weld all those parts. And I'm gonna remove the front seats and stuff as well to fully weld all this gearbox surrounding as well. So quite a lot of work ahead of me. So what I'm working on now is on the rear axle. I have already made a fixture to hold this axle in place, but so that if I loosen all those attachment points, so I can tilt this axle, because right now this angle is not gonna play out. We will need to make it a lot yeah. So basically I will need to turn the axle. That means I'm gonna need to make a special bracket for up there. I will need to cut all those brackets loose, turn the axle where we want it, and then I can weld those back. But basically, yeah, quite a bit of work on that project. There is this holding fixture on the other side as well, and I temporarily welded those tabs onto the frame here, so I can, and I made those unboltable, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to take the axle off, which I will need to do. Actually kind of forgot to take any video meantime, but don't even remember what I showed you guys. Cut off all those coil spring mounting plates, those tabs which hold this thing, and now I've tilted the whole axle that way, like that, so that the drive line is in a pretty okay situation right now. I fabricated this out of 8mm thick steel. This is quite some time consuming work. Once I get it off for fully finishing, right now it's just kind of tacked together. Made two plates here, one which attaches to the axle itself, and the other one which attaches to this U-joint plate, and just kind of welded those plates together. Everything is tacked in place now, just to verify that everything works out. We are gonna have this drive shaft or garden, whatever you wanna call this. We are gonna have this one made. I just shortened the original one, and there will be a double U-joint there, and on that end will be as it is, I believe. Next for me, I think I'm gonna disassemble everything and remove also the rear axle of the vehicle, so I can fully weld all those tabs and spring plates and this top mount there. And this is the lowest it can go. Now I'm in the process of fully welding all those. Gonna fabricate some pieces in here, but that I'm gonna do after I've welded all those brackets. Got the axle on the car already, not all attached, but now I'm gonna finish up this part. Just gonna fill those empty holes and fully weld this. Nice, I got this piece all nicely welded up and grinded as well. I'm pleased with that, so now I can install this. Oh yeah, baby. Nice. Cool, man. So this is the last brake line going in now. The front one's already done. Got all those hooked up. So, coming from there, this is the front left, front right, coming from up there. And hooked on to this one. Still need to attach this one. Original mounts are those, but since we tilted the axle, now it needs to be a little further back. That is the pipes itself sorted. Made a bunch of those tabs. Gonna weld those to the frame for fixing those brake pipes. I'm gonna put this rubber hose piece onto the pipe, and then I'm gonna just zip tie it to this one. I think it's a better solution than using those plastic crap. Oh, yesterday I got this handbrake system kind of tucked in there. Later on I'm gonna have to figure out some kind of supports for those cables, but I messed around with those yesterday quite a bit, but those did not work. I will come back to those later. But today I'm gonna start working on the muffler, being from the Jeep there. It is quite a bit longer, so I need to shorten it a lot. Now I'm working on fitting this Jeep Grand Cherokee's trailer hitch frame to the WAS. I had to make some rust repairs on that one as well. It was rotten through from here, here and here. Plus the hitch part itself, it was rusted, stuck inside that, so I had to do that to get that out of there. But now I'm gonna lay it where it needs to be, and this one needs some modification as well. So now I'm removing the full exhaust system to fully weld it. Today I took this wiring loom out of the Grand Cherokee outside there. This one goes to the right of the car. This one goes across the bulkhead, and the other side loom lays here right now. Engine stuff and all this comes through the bulkhead, one from this side, one from the other side. So yeah, this is the rear loom, also this connector, and I also have to install this bunch of stuff in as well. The trickiest part will be fitting all this stuff in this quite small corner here. So let me start figuring this out. And I also drilled off those mounts for these things, so I can weld those wherever I find I'm gonna mount those, and then I can weld those in here. What's up, mates? So I've actually been doing a lot of work here. I think I haven't actually remembered to take any video of it, but then again, it is rather boring stuff to watch, I think. So what I've done here, I have mostly attached all the wiring. Everything here is held in. And what I used to make the attachment points for doing it with the zip ties, I saw one guy using simple washers, bent those up like that and weld those wherever you want to attach your wiring or piping. I did the same way, fuel pipes and brake lines, only used bigger washers. You just weld them from the ends there and you can put your zip tie through there, and yeah, works great and a lot easier than to make all those attachment points yourself. Just bend the washer and you're done. That is way easier. We got a W joint cardan made. We will see how that works. And here are my fuel lines and brake line for the back here. Used the Jeep's original stuff. Just made those straight and cut those a lot shorter because this vehicle is a lot shorter than the Jeep. From here on up, we will use hoses, at least for now, for testing. But yeah, here you can also see those attachment points out of washers, but check the brake line one, then I hadn't seen the washer trick, so I made those from scratch. Took quite a lot more time than using a washer. As you can see, the wiring is all nicely attached to the body of the car now. When it comes off, we will nicely wrap it and protect it from the environment as well as we can. But before that happens, there is still a lot of work to be done. But now I'm in the process of hooking up the fuel tank and try to fire this thing up for the first time. Let's see. Will it fire up or will it not? Sweet! Just a touch of gas, but that's it. Then I will kill it. Nice. This is nice. I'm in the process of fabricating this heater, simple heater unit in here. For that, I'm making a bracket right now out of aluminum. I already got a hole here for the pipes coming from the engine. Those are the original ones. I will need to extend those and go up from somewhere here, but yeah. First I'm gonna need to mount this here. And by the way, this is some sort of a universal system. I know guys use this type heaters in rally cars and stuff like that because it's simple and lightweight. Yeah, that's about it. You do not have too many options where you can direct your airflow, and neither can you switch from hot to cold here. For that we need to add some kind of a valve and circulation system installed somewhere here, but that's probably a future project. By the way, this is basically for being able to demist the windshield, so yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna cut this out now and bend it. Need to drill holes here for mounting it to the firewall. Those plastic screws were included with this unit. And now it's gonna be the case of figuring out the exact location. So I got this temporarily attached to here. Later on I'm gonna probably weld some nuts to the firewall, so those will be captive. Or maybe I will weld bolts that will stick out here. And those hoses, would nice to get some new hoses with pens. And I will need to design some type of a sealing plate system there, but that I will do later. Right now I wanna get the coolant into the engine so we can make our first test drives. Just got the brakes roughly played. Pedal feels quite nice. Good enough for testing. Remember that this will all have to be taken apart again at some point when the fabrication work is done. So let's try to drive the first couple of inches. it works. At least for moving it around in the garage here. But yeah, now on to fabricating the air intake pipe.